From the example that we have taken of the calculating the area of all these things, I have came to the definition of a class. A class is a collection of information and the work that you do with that information. Now let us take this scenario and implement this in our definition. What I will do is I will first recognize the nouns in the scenario. The nouns in this scenario are circle, square, rectangle and ellipse. So these are the nouns. So for every noun I will create a separate class. So I will have a class circle, I will have a class square, I will have a class rectangle, I will have a class ellipse. I will have these 4 classes with 4 nouns. So whatever nouns you found in your scenario, create them as your class. Now once you create classes, once you classify them into the classes, the next work that you have to do is to determine 2 things for every class you have created. For example, I have created a class circle. For class circle, I will have to determine 2 things: the data I need for circle, the work I want to do for circle. The data I need for circle is radius and maximum diameter or radius. I need this data for circle. The work that I am going to do on the circle class, the work that I am going to do with this circle class are calculating area, calculating circumference. So I have gathered the information, I have also recognized the work that I have to do. Next goes our square class. Class square, for square I just need the length of the side, that will be my information. For square I am calculating area of square, perimeter of square. So for all those figure I am creating the classes and I am creating the data and work. So if you know how I am doing this is a kind of it is a diagram that we call it as UML diagram, Unified Modeling Language. Is actually the class diagram that we create with data members and functions. So that is what we have done here now. Now remember that I have created the classes there, right? See, I am speaking this is the fundamentals of object-oriented programming. You can apply these things, whatever I am explaining, to any object-oriented programming language. It is not a particular definition or the explanation for Python. It is generalized definition of object-oriented programming. As I move forward, I will connect it to Python. Now I have these 4 classes with the information that the work I have given to them. Now let us generalize it more. I want to generalize them more, right? So everything that I have, they have something in common: calculate area and calculate perimeter. Even though the implementation and formulas are different for every class, their methods are same, right? So I can generalize them and I can create a parent class for them. I'll call that class as shape, and I will make that class as a parent of all these 4 classes. So what is common in these 4 classes? I'll put there. Calculating area is common, I'll put there calculate area. Calculating perimeter is common, I'll put calculate perimeter. So this is how I'll do abstraction. This is something called as abstraction. This is just an overview. When I come to implementation, I will discuss abstraction within itself as detailed topic. Okay, so don't get confused with this thing. I hope you got this thing. So this is how you're gonna organize the thing. This is how you're gonna think. This is how you're gonna prepare your mind to think in an object-oriented programming way. So that is what my intention was, to make your mind think in object-oriented programming manner. Whatever work you get, classify them into 2 things: information, functions, work. Information is your data members, variables, and functions are your methods that you're going to define within itself. So that is how, in short, I'm going to explain to you. So this is how we have converted that procedural. We had that procedural approach of creating 8 methods. Now we have an object-oriented programming way that we have created this. So you can see the difference between them. I can say C and Python, difference between C and Python kind of thing, procedural versus object-oriented programming language. Now that is what generalized things of object-oriented programming are. Now without going into detail, I want to keep this video beginner friendly, easy to understand for everyone. So I will not explain some detailed topics here. I will just start some implementation part, and I will explain some working how in Python object-oriented programming works. I will take you implementation part. I will end this session. Okay, so let us